Welcome everyone to another episode of Creepy Campfire Stories. This story goes like this. I used to work for a company that built logging roads. One day we got a report that one of the roads had washed out. So I went out to my truck to find out what I would need to fix it. And about 3 or 4 miles from the highway, as I proceeded to the washout, I noticed a rocky outcropping and something glinting in the sun. You see, I was an amateur prospector, always looking for a strike, or signs of a strike. I stopped my truck, took out my rock hammer, and tried to get a sample. When I stopped hammering, I heard a clicking sound from the bushes across the road about 60 feet away. It sounded like someone knocking 2 stones together. I wasn't afraid because I had my .45 on my hip, so I resumed chipping, but when I stopped again, I heard the clicking sound again, which was louder. I yelled toward the bushes, "Hey, come out there! Show yourself!" After I got no response, I started chipping again, and then suddenly a stone the size of a grapefruit smashed into the rock face about 3 feet away from my head. If it would have hit me, it would have killed me. I dropped my hammer, pulled my .45, picked up the stone, and tried to throw it back into the bushes. I say tried because it was heavy, and I could only toss it about 7 or 8 feet. Scared and angry, I crossed the road, shouting curse words, and fired a couple of shots in the air. At that point, I heard something moving rapidly through the woods and the bushes, but it was fading away alongside the road. I continued to watch in that direction, and suddenly there it was, a black, hairy, 2-legged creature, bent over, but moving fast. Then it was gone. Just like that, gone. I looked around in the bushes and saw a few broken branches, but nothing else. But there it was, a terrible stink in the air. I got in my truck, drove back to the highway in a hurry. I was getting out of there. A couple of years later, I told a friend what happened, and he knew all about these creatures. He said they don't hurt people, which I didn't believe for a second, and the stone that was thrown in my direction was probably just a warning. He also said the creatures don't usually smell bad, but when they are mad or frightened, they spray kind of like a skunk, and I don't think I've ever smelt anything that bad. But I tell you what, I know now that Bigfoots do exist. Wow, that was a pretty good story, guys. I know it was a short one, but it was a good story. And I want to thank everybody. If you hadn't subscribed, please do so. I'm gonna try to put out more stories than just once a week if I can find the time. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening, and I hope everyone has a safe and happy weekend.